Another week, another Grandmaster Nightfall, and we're starting this off with something new for a change. We're going with a new, never-before-seen build. I have been cooking for days, and I'm promising y'all we are going to not use Polaris Lance this time.
No.
We're using Polaris Lance, baby. Best gun in the game. Best build in the game. Best in the game. Ah! In all seriousness, the following artifact mods, Kindling Trigger, Flint Striker, Heart of the Flame, Revitalizing Blast, and Razor Precision just make Solar the best option. And what better gun than Polaris Lance? I know it's boring, but if you want this to be easy, it is the only thing I can recommend comfortably, especially considering the overcharge seems to always be Solar, giving you an extra 25% damage in the end. Just to use Polaris Lance if you want this to be easy. I'm sorry if you don't like it, but just it is what it is. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, if you can figure out a way to deal with Screebs and Overload champions, this Grandmaster is gonna be easy. It's gonna be super easy, almost as easy as like Shadows on a good day. Genuinely speaking, besides Polaris Lance and Solar being obvious, Stasis is good, Strand is good, the ability to lock down enemies and just keep them from charging you. Scorn are most dangerous when they can charge you, obviously, considering they have a variety of melee enemies and they have the Screebs. It's just better if you can freeze them, if you can suspend them, you're gonna have an easy time, not to mention almost every single mini-boss in this strike can be suspended, and the ones that can't be suspended, like the one on screen right now, have horrendously low flinch resist, so if you flinch them with any hard-hitting special weapon, or if you flinch them with solar explosions, or hell, even flinching them just by hitting them with stasis explosions, you're probably going to be doing pretty well. And besides that, the only real complicated part of the strike revolves around the two sections where you have to stand on plates. That's just because you can't immediately see where the enemies are spawning. Take your time. They don't spawn infinitely, so even if you have to edge the plate a little bit, you should be looking at a relatively quick Nightfall experience. It shouldn't take more than 15 minutes for mediocre teams, average teams at best. I'm going to skip ahead now to one of the more complicated sections besides standing on a plate. And what a surprise, it's the midway point through the strike where it's the big room with two places. Yes, I know, a little bit of a debate, but don't go running into the unstoppable champions that spawn right away and only take care of one plate at a time unless you're some sort of goat whale and you can go invis or just abuse literally anything else. Just try to group up as a team, unless you're speedrunning, in which case you could probably take care of one plate by yourself. Besides the final boss, I really don't have anything to say. It's really just applying good fundamentals of endgame content, taking your time clearing stuff, because this is a well-designed piece of endgame activity. Unlike Battlegrounds, the enemies aren't infinitely spawning, so in theory, you can just take your time. With the final boss, you can nuke it with golden guns, you can nuke it with heavy weapons. Just know, one champion is going to spawn per phase, so you just got to kill the champion before you phase the boss down to 1/3 HP, because when you phase the boss down to a third, 2/3 of its HP, you're going to teleport into the shadow dimension, or wherever you want to call it, and you're going to have to deal with a whole bunch of hallway. But if you get to this point, you teleport, and you haven't killed the champion in the main room, then you're not going to be able to kill it afterwards, and thus you will miss platinum rewards. As you re-enter the main room the first time you're done with the shadow room, just know that the boss is going to spawn on the right side of the room relative to where you spawn, and just a couple trash mobs are going to spawn on the left side of the room. On the right side of the room, the champion is going to spawn there as well. It's either going to be an unstop or an overload, depending on what phase you're on, and realistically, once the champion is done, there's no need to stick around. Just kill everything as quick as you can. I mean, things really aren't that big of a threat as long as you have 100 resilience. This is one of those Nightfalls that is deceptively hard because of the nature of the enemies, but realistically, everything gets stun locked super easily, including the final boss, so they can't really do a whole heck of a lot to you. I'd say it's poor design, but it's actually fun to play, so I'm not going to complain when I'm allowed to use the arsenal to its fullest extent. And as you're leaving the shadow realm for the second time and cleared both sides full of enemies, the boss is going to spawn in the same platform that he spawned on the first time, but a little bit to the right. Don't be a goober, don't waste your super, and hit it in the head, kill the boss. That's pretty much it. Dunsky, just know that if you burn the boss immediately and don't kill the champion, no platinum rewards because everything despawns as soon as you kill the boss. So yeah, this is it. Adept weapon this week, loaded question, one of the better fusion rifles in the game. It's very good, would recommend using it, and besides that, I would say this is as good of a Nightfall to farm as any. I mean, realistically, your run should take less than 15 minutes unless you have some trouble with revives and reses, getting caught out by screebs or on the plate sections. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I have nothing else to say besides this is an easy one, and have a great day, and thank you for watching.